And I'm submitting to you, what I said was, it's not fair. How can I compete with my upline and be in the same category? Because the majority of the time that I was working in the business, Mary and Richard were executives. So recently, on my birthday, in 2017, they promoted a national consultant. It was a fun day for all you guys that shared on the Facebook moment stuff for all that. But the reason why I mentioned that is because I projected that I couldn't compete with other people because I wasn't in the business as long as them. So I had a boo-hoo kind of party. Does that make sense? Anybody ever done that before? And I convinced myself that I could not compete for the 5-star, and that the only way I could potentially make it is if they change the criteria, or if they, why does the same millionaire person win the trip every time? Because they have a huge team and they worked hard for it. That's just the reason why, okay? They put their blood, sweat, and guts into it. And the way the system works with the 5-star, you have to add consultants and customers. Consultants and customers, and get people promoted and plug people into events. So my submission to you is, don't put a limitation. John Maxwell, 21 Laws of Leadership, he calls it the law of the lid. Whatever you believe, what you can achieve, you can't go any higher than that. So if you put a limit on yourself, you'll never be able to achieve more than that. And I don't know how many times that my sponsors, Mary and Richard, told me that time and time again, and it just wouldn't sink in, because I wouldn't give myself the opportunity to believe that I could compete. Does that make sense? So currently, I have the 10th highest point category of anybody in the entire company as far as production. And it's through a number of different things, because you grow a significant team and those team members grow, and they're still haven't achieved what they want to achieve. And a byproduct of you still working with your group and doing trainings like this is you have an effect globally on Ambit, but you also have an effect on your own organization in a number of different ways. So what I want to share with you guys is extremely practical information. I don't want you to limit yourself on who you think you can prospect or who you think you should prospect. Does that make sense? Because there's power in those relationships of people that you haven't talked to yet, and you can never unlock that potential unless you start with someone and you start prospecting them and see where it goes. So don't limit yourself. A lot of people say there's a chicken list. Well, the fact that you call it a chicken list means that you're a what? Okay? You're projecting that you're scared to call someone. I mean, the worst that can happen is they can say what? No, not for me. They cannot give you time of day. But if you approach people in a professional manner, in a compelling way with your invitations, which we're going to go over that in practicum in a second here, you have a much higher potential for them to support you. And I like that change in psychology from a word, because I use favor all the time. And it's not as productive as asking from one for their support. How many of you have ever been called by somebody that is a charitable organization or the State Trooper Association, and they call you to ask you for money to support the state troopers? Raise your hand, or any other organization. When they call you, do they say, hey, can you give me some money? They say what? Can we count on your support? Okay, so when you say no, it's like you're saying, no, you can't count on my support. I mean, it's hard to do that. So when you ask people to support you, and you put it in a compelling fashion with your invitation that's crafted to be effective and compelling and have some urgency with it, it's very difficult for them to say, no, I don't want to be your customer and help you put your kids through college. Does that make sense? Now, if you just said, hey, do you want to save some money? What are they going to say? Nah, I'm good. I like TXU. I like Green Mountain. I like Zero, whatever. So sometimes we ask the wrong questions instead of sharing with them why this is important to us, because when they say no, they have to literally say no to reaching your goals. I learned this a long time from Lane Winsett, which if you're in town, I promise you, you're going to benefit from coming next Tuesday in Fort Worth. He's doing a training at 6 o'clock, and the BP is closing that out at 7:30. That's at the Norris Conference Center in Fort Worth. And what he talked about was the ability of asking people and basically listening to what they say and then restating what they just said. So he has a really good training online. He did this for us last year when Tony Procopio was in town. I don't know if any of you guys were around for that training when it was in Irving. So there's some common objections as to why people may not want to join the business. Who knows one of them? Can tell me one of the most common objections of people why they don't want to. Not the most common, but Dave, what's one? I don't have time. Yes. Talk to the spouse. Time and what? Money. And what's the other one? I need more information. Okay, those are the top 4. So if the person says, I need more information, he just says, okay, great. What you hear me saying is, if I answer all your questions to your satisfaction in the next 24 to 48 hours, you'd be ready to join the winning team. Did I hear you correctly? Is that what you're saying? And then he's like bobbing his head the whole time, okay? Or if they said, I don't have the money, say, well, if we can work that out and I can help show you how you can get your investment back like Doug was talking about, you'd be ready to join the winning team right now if it weren't for the money. Did I hear you correctly? Say that. He restates the objection back to the person. So you make sure you really have clarity on what the actual objection is in the first place. So that'll help us in a second because we're going to do some live calls in a little bit. Who's excited about making some actual invitation calls in this room, okay? So you see your sheet here. You've got the system, so let's go through that. The invitation, presentation, ask for a decision, validation. That's exactly what we're going to do. Okay, so turn the page after the funnel. It says invitation, okay? So you need to take notes on this. But now, here, what you're going to do is not write it on it just yet because we're going to use these lines. We've got 3 lines. You kind of have to write tiny. But we're going to do 3 separate invitations to 3 specific different people that are on your list of 27, 28, whatever it is, 50. Make sense? Okay? So who wants to be stretched and wants to grow as opposed to stay stagnant and go backwards? So only a few of you. Okay, got it. Okay, someone got to do 2 hands back there. Dougie Fresh, I like that. Okay, flip to the next page. You need to know what your web handle is, so put your web handle in there. So webhandle.energy526.com. Mine is my first name. So mine would be Jarrad.energy526.com. So write yours in because that's important when the person picks up the phone and they say, yes, I've got 20 minutes of undivided attention right now. Great. Let me give you the website. Let me know when you're in front of your computer with your internet browser ready to rock and roll. Walk them through and we stay on the phone with them. Okay? So you're going to role play and go through these 4 questions in just a second. Now flip to the next page. This is, action time. My 3 calls. So I need 1, 2, 3 names from your list on this sheet of paper. Okay? Here we go. Ready, go. Pick 3 people. Now, I would submit to you, might want to pick 3 people that are money motivated, but you can't prejudge people. It doesn't really matter. You got to start somewhere. And you don't know if someone's going to say yes or no unless they what? Have an opportunity to say yes or no in the first place. Okay? Who's in control of giving someone on your list an opportunity to look at this great business and either say yes or no? The prospect? No. You are. Okay? Every individual consultant is responsible for that. Okay, so look on your neighbor's sheet and make sure that they have at least 3 people written down of who they're going to call. Okay? Here's what I want you to do. I want the existing ECs to stand up, and we're going to pilfer around Roberto and also Mr. Perez. And if you need help, I want you to talk to your neighbor and start with the very first one. So this is the first person that you're going to call, and you're going to use a form of one of these invitations based on the prospect, okay? Now, some of these are very short and sweet and to the point, and sometimes it depends on how well you know that person. Now, we have no idea which specific approach is going to work or not work. The best we can do is try to start with something that we think will get that person to at least take a look, okay? Now, when I leave messages, I don't talk to them about anything besides, hey, how's it going? Give me a call back. Bye. Click. Okay? Act normal. If you call them regularly and you say, hey, what's up? Call me back. Click. And that's normal? Great. That's the message you leave. Okay? Certainly don't leave, oh, I wish I would have caught you. I wanted to really tell you about this great business. Can you call me back, please? Are they going to call you back? Probably not. Okay? Or you can text them after you call them and say, look, just left you a quick message. Buzz me back. Real important. I need your help. Okay, I would also follow up with a text message. Okay, so look to your neighbor and discuss who you have on there as the number 1 person. And I'll give you an example. Who wants to be the guinea pig? Somebody fairly new in the business that you're like at least 6 months or less in the business. Okay, yeah, tell us your name and if we could get a microphone over there, please. If I could get a poor assistant. Thank you, sir. Okay, tell us your name and where you're from.
My name is Tori Tomlin.
Hold on a second, he's going to turn the microphone on.
Hello?
Go for it.
Hello?
Yep.
My name is Dora Tomlin, and I'm from Fort Worth, Texas.
Okay, Lori, how long have you been in the business?
A month or so?
1 month.
Yeah.
1 month. Okay. So tell us the name of your person. You don't have to say the full name, but what's the first name of the person that you put on the 123?
Janet Dickinson.
Janet?
Janet.
Okay. How do you know Janet, relationship-wise?
I've known her over 20 years, friends.
Okay. So you say she's a really good, close personal friend. How often do you get to spend time with her and talk to her?
Well, not very often. We kind of lost contact with each other after the years, but I've known her for that length of time, so.
Okay. How long has it been since you actually talked to her?
The last time we spoke was about a week ago on
Okay, pretty
Facebook.
recent.
She messaged me.
Got it. So do you have her cell phone? You know her number is?
On that one, no.
Okay. That's okay. So what I would do with that is I would ping her on Facebook and start a relationship back up again with her, okay? Have communication and just ask her and say, hey, how are things going? Would love to catch up with you sometime. Now, me personally, I use a Steve Thompson approach from his book, A View from the Top, Relationship from the Top. If he calls someone he hasn't reached out to a long time, let's say it's a college buddy on that line. Hey, Austin, it's Jarrad. I know we haven't talked in a long time. I really want to connect with you and learn how you're doing and catch up, but I also wanted to ask your support on something that's important to me. When can we talk? What's the best number to reach you? And that's it. Now, if they don't respond back, fine, move on to the next person. I would never give them any information beyond that. So they actually have to respond back to you to figure out what exactly you need their support and help on. Okay? You don't have to say the word support. You can say something different. Need to run something by you. Can I get your time for